Okay, folks, so welcome back to Vape City Reviews, and yes, we do have a review during Chinese New Year. I've been sitting on this one for a wee while, and I'm glad I want to be able to get this out. Today we're taking a look at the Compact RBA for the RPM, the Smok RPM coils. Now, we did do the boost version of this, and they sent another one out, and for the life of me I can't remember which one it was. But we are going to do the RPM one today. Very similar build deck. It's got that K-Fun style build deck, very similar. But also in the same video, guys, I did want to show off the RPM 80. Now this is not the Pro version. This is the one with the built-in battery, 3000 milliamp. The fuck's a milliamp? Milliamp hour, 3000 milliamp hour battery, not an 18650. I couldn't do another review for this because it's basically the same thing. It's slightly shorter, but it's exactly the same, bar the way bar the power method. No point in me doing a separate video, but we're utilizing it. I'm using big words today. We're utilizing it today for this review. So we're going to pop down below, guys. I've already put a coil into the RBA just because it's so fiddly, but we're going to work it up down below, show you how it works, install it into the RPM pod, come back up, give it a vape, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Yes, we. Okay, guys, so down below with the Compact RBA from Mechlyfe. This is for the RPM coils, and just so I can include it in the video, this is the Smok RPM 80. It's not the Pro version, it's the one with the 3000 milliamp hour built-in battery. It doesn't have the battery door at the bottom. There's no point in doing a separate review for this. It's the same device as the Fetch Pro, it just doesn't take that 18650. But we will be using the Mechlyfe RBA instead of the pre-installed coil. So I'm going to stick this just to the side until we need to use it, and we're going to get tucked into the Mechlyfe Compact RBA. Now, it's the same as the Geek Vape one we've done before. It's a K-Fun style deck, very small, very fiddly to work with. But it's not like an RDTA. It's an actual coil that once it goes, you can undo, take a cotton out, and redo it again. So for the sake of time, I've already put a coil into this. Let's get you a little bit closer. So you've got your two O-rings here, which make the seal at the top, your O-ring at the bottom, which makes your seal at the base, and then your airflow slots there and there. And if we unscrew the top cap, you're then revealed with your K-Fun styled RBA deck. Now this is a very miniature. If I can maybe get something here for scale. Let's put an 18650 battery beside it. It doesn't even fit in the frame. It's huge. It's absolutely, or it's huge. It's not huge. It's tiny. What am I talking about? It's an itty bitty RBA. So it was just to save a little bit of time. I pre-coiled it, but as you can see, it's just a screw there, and then you're gonna wrap your coil legs around the screws and snip in as tight as you can. If you don't snip the wires in tight enough, when you're screwing the top cap back on again, it could short off the top cap, so you do want to make sure you've got your wires snipped back as close as possible. I've already pre-fired this. It's glowing from the inside out. What we're going to do now is work it, and working this little thing is actually quite easy, and especially for the way we're going to be using it. We're going to be using it in mouth-along mode. The coil should ohm out to about 1 ohm. My problem with the Fetch always was that there was just too much airflow to get a mouth-along draw, and for me they were all direct lung vapes, direct lung pods, and it's just a bugbear with me. So I'm hoping that this little RBA section will solve that issue and maybe just give the Fetch that opportunity of being a mouth to lung kit. So if you look down just here, this is where your juice is going to spill into, and your cotton, you're just going to want to bring your cotton just enough where it touches the bottom. Now I'm going to fluff that out. I'm going to fluff this out just a little bit. I'll take a snip there. We'll take a snip about there. So, if we look at this side first, we're going to drop the cotton down, and as you can see, I've overdone it. Okay, we're coming far too close. We're going way below the juice well with that cotton, so we're going to want to take that back a little bit more. And then, if we see how that looks, okay, that's looking much better. Now, on this side, we're going to want to do the same. We're going to want to cut it back to the same as the opposite side. I'll give that a bit of a haircut. Okay, so what I also like to do before I put these into the juice wells is you want to put some e-liquid onto the cotton, and that's going to make that cotton a little bit more pliable. I'm using a 20 milligram nicotine salt on this, so I'm really hoping it's going to work in mouth to lung mode, because I don't want to be sub-ohming 20 milligrams. So just working this, guys, nice and simple. You want to tuck your cotton down in between the threads. There's threads here and there's threads here, and you just don't want your cotton caught in those threads. You don't want to force the cotton in, you just want it to find its way, just like so. And then we're going to turn it around to the other side, and we're going to gently tuck the cotton in and keeping it away from the sides. There's still maybe a little too much on that end, but again, it's mouth to lung. It's not going to matter too much as long as it's not going to catch on those threads. So your cotton should look something like that. And then you're going to take your top cap. You're going to put your top cap on. Now, with the threads so small, I do recommend if you reverse thread it, just to catch the first thread, and you'll know when you've got it, and then you can spin her on down, and that is it. Worked. You can see the cotton just in there and just in there, and that's what's going to feed the coil with liquid. Now let's zoom this back out again and bring in the fetch pod for the RPM 80. Now we're going to take out the pre-installed coil. Okay, I'm going to take out the pre-installed coil. It just ditched an O-ring on me. And then we're going to get the one that we have just put together. We're going to want to twist it round, and in it pops just like so. The airflow's there, airflow's there. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to obviously fill your device with some liquid. Same as the RPM 80 Pro, guys, at the top. Now, what I do when I'm first working new sort of RBA heads and new coils, I don't put too much liquid in, because if I haven't put enough cotton in, I don't want to waste a whole lot of liquid. So just a little bit of liquid in, surround the coil, and that way you're going to know if you've actually worked your coil you've worked your coil properly. You just don't want to waste liquid inside the pod for no reason. So once you've first built it, just put in what you need to get the thing going, and to make sure that you've got it worked correctly. No one wants to waste any e-liquid doing something like this, but it's a very, very easy deck to build on. I have to hand it to them. So the pod then goes back into the fetch 80, 5 clicks, fetch 80, RPM 80, what am I talking about? 5 clicks powers that on, RPM 80, touch it once, and it's reading at 0.89 ohms. I thought it would have came out somewhere roughly about an ohm, so we'll maybe set that at about 18 watts, and yeah, we're going to come back up top, we're going to vape on it, and we're going to see if Mechlyfe have give us RBA head that we can maybe get a mouth to lung vape off. Okay, let's take back up top. Okay guys, we are back up top with the Smok RPM 80 with the Mechlyfe RBA coil head installed inside. Now, my big bugbear with the pod kits these days is that they don't come with airflow control, and they're usually for direct lung vaping. And I don't know how we moved pods from mouth to lung over to direct lung. It sort of went unnoticed. And for me it was always a big issue. So I'm hoping that this little RBA head cuts off some of that airflow, and we can maybe approach this device and utilize it as a mouth to lung kit. So I haven't vaped this yet, it's the very first time. I've got it set at 18 watts and 0.89 ohms, and let's see if we can get a comfortable mouth to lung draw. Yes. That's actually slightly tighter than what I was expecting. I would put it on the looser end of mouth to lung. It's definitely not a true mouth to lung, a tight mouth to lung, you know. It's definitely sitting on the looser end, but it's the tightest draw I've had from any of the Smok Nord RPM or GC products. It's definitely the tightest. I'll just put that up to 20 watts, by the way. Yeah, that's actually really good. Quite a comfortable vape. And what you can also do, if you are looking to get it a little bit tighter, sitting at the front, there's your airflow intake, and you do have another one on this side. But if you hold the device like this, your finger sort of naturally covers that airflow. Which again vastly brings down the amount of airflow going into the coil. I'm quite impressed with that. Really am. Flavour is absolutely on point, as you would expect from a rebuildable head. Tiny little micro coil in there. But it's keeping up fine with the working. I could do that until the tank goes dry. It's keeping up just fine with the working. It's definitely on the looser side of a mouth to lung draw, but it's the most mouth to lung draw I've had from an RPM product, or the Smok Nord RPM RGC. It's the tightest I've had from any of them devices. So the Mechlyfe RBA head, I'm going to put it down to that, because the RPM 80 Pro with the fetch coils in it, for me was still too loose. So there's less air, there's less air coming through this little job than what there is in the stock coil. So if you're interested in using your fetch, your Smok 80 Pro, you know, anything that takes that RPM coil, and you're interested in rebuilding, get in touch with Mechlyfe. Their compact RBA I can give a high recommendation to. Now, it is small, it's tiny, it's fiddly. Getting that coil in can be very, very tricky. If you haven't built on anything before, I would suggest you buy something, a cheap dripper, something off Fast Tech for a couple of dollars, just to get used to building, because it's not a deck that you want to work with if you've not previously built coils before, just because it's so small and fiddly. But if you're in the game, you know what you're doing, and you do want to get that mouth and lung draw from the Smok Fetch Kit, that Mechlyfe RPM RBA head is going to do that for you. It is on the looser side. It's definitely on the looser side, but it is giving that mouth to lung draw. So yeah, I'd like to extend my thanks to both Mechlyfe and Smok for sending out the RPM 80 and Mechlyfe for their RBA coil heads. Very impressed with both products, as I'm sure you will be too. A big thanks to all you guys for watching this all the way to the end. It's very much appreciated, and hope to see you all again very, very soon. Hope you all have a fabulous day. Have a good one. Take care and bye. Wee.